Hey, welcome. We have live with us Kianda Lee. I am Kiana Owens on behalf of Dreamer Gorman from Burst into Books. We're facilitating a workshop that's dedicated for pre-K to third graders. I am turning the torch over to Kianda. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kianda Lee, and I am actually a school librarian for CPS, Chicago Public Schools. And so tonight, I just want to share some strategies for a read aloud, having students or your scholars to recall information from the text. And when you do, before you even conduct a read aloud, you want to make sure that you write questions beforehand. So you pre-read and create questions that will allow students to recall information from the text, make inferences about characters, events, and the text overall, even the text message. So the book that I want to use tonight is one of my favorites, I Want My Hat Back by John Klassen. And as I play the video, I'm going to stop and just ask questions that I would ask my students um, as they read the text or as they listen to the text.
Hat back. I want my hat back. My hat is gone. I want it back.
So even right here, like after you've read the first page, you can even ask students like, have you ever lost anything? Or even before you start this page, have you ever lost anything of importance? And how did it feel um, when you couldn't find it? And students would share their responses. And then you could, ask like, I wonder how the bear feels um, knowing that his head is gone.
Have you seen my hat?
No, I haven't seen your hat.
Okay, thank you anyway.
And right here, the one reason I like this text is because it also um, it highlights dialogue. So one question I would ask is, why do you think um, some of the letters are black and some of the letters are red? And even if your scholars are listening now, they may have said, well, the black sentences that's the bear speaking, and the red sentences, that's the fox's dialogue, that's the fox speaking.
Have you seen my hat?
Nope, I have not seen any hats around here.
Okay, thank you anyway.
And again, on this page, another character's dialogue is highlighted too. So they will notice that, and that's something you can question as you continue to conduct your read aloud.
Have you seen my hat?
No, why are you asking me? I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any hats anywhere. I would not steal a hat. Don't ask me any more questions.
Okay, thank you anyway.
Now, right here is where you can ask a question where students would make an inference. Here we have a bunny saying, no, why are you asking me? I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any hats anywhere. But we notice that the bunny is wearing a hat. And then he goes on to say, I would not steal a hat. So you can ask your student, do you think the bunny stole the hats? Like, why would he even say, I haven't seen hats anywhere?
Have you seen my hat?
I haven't seen anything all day. I have been trying to climb this rock.
Would you like me to lift you on top of it?
Yes, please.
Have you seen
So I'm going to go back to that
Yeah.
page.
hat?
Please.
So you can also ask your scholars, why is the narrator reading the turtle's words so slow? And they will use prior knowledge of turtles and say, maybe it's because turtles move slow. Also, you can ask questions here about the character's traits. Even though the bear has lost his hat, he's not taking his frustration out on everyone. Um, on the prior pages, he's asking people have they seen his hat, and when they say no, he says, "Okay, thank you." So that shows that the character is polite, um, and he's staying calm, even though he has lost his hat.
Have you seen my hat?
I saw a hat once. It was blue and round.
My hat doesn't look like that. Thank you anyway.
And right here, you can also have students make another inference because the snake said, I saw a hat, it was blue and round. The bear said, that's not my hat. My hat doesn't look like that. So you can ask them, well, what shape do you think the bear's hat is? They may even go back to recalling the hat that the bunny wore, and they may say, oh, maybe it was what the bunny was wearing. It's a triangle and it's red.
Have you seen my hat?
What's a hat?
Thank you anyway. Nobody has seen my hat. What if I never see it again? What if nobody ever finds it? My poor hat. I miss it so much.
What's the matter?
I have lost my hat and nobody has seen it.
What does your hat look like?
It is red and pointy and
So here we have another animal asking the bear, what's the matter? And now the bear is saying, it is red and pointy. And now you can have your scholars maybe foreshadow what's to come or make an inference. The bear is now recalling that his hat is red and pointy. And why do you think he's saying and?
I have seen my hat.
Now you can ask your scholars to make a prediction as to what's going to happen next. He says, I have seen my hat. Where did he see the hat? Who had the hat on? What do you think he's going to do about it? How do you think he's going to get his hat back? So these questions will elicit a lot of discussion about how he's going to retrieve his hat.
You stole my hat.
What do you think he's going to do? How is he going to get that hat back?
I love my hat.
So we see that the bunny is nowhere around. How did he get the hat back? And you would get so many different answers from your scholars as to how they think he got his hat back.
Excuse me, have you seen a rabbit wearing a hat?
No? Why are you asking me? I haven't seen him. I haven't seen any rabbits. Anywhere. I would not eat a rabbit. Don't ask me any more questions.
Okay, thank you anyway.
So that was the read aloud. And in the end, again, students, you can ask that question to have them make an inference as to what happened to the rabbit. We never saw him eat the rabbit. He said, I would not eat a rabbit, but did we see him eat the rabbit? What is something else he could have done to the rabbit in order to get his hat back? So again, I like this book because it focuses on dialogue. You can also ask questions so that students can make inferences, questions for recall. They can also use prior knowledge um, as to like why a animal spoke so slowly, or um, why was this dialogue this color, that color, things of that sort. And then I'm going to stop sharing this, but also you so activity that I've had students do in the past, and even today, um, to help with recall, is to ask them what happened in the beginning of the book, the middle of the book, and the end of the book. And the assignment can be differentiated because some students may be able to spell well or not. And so I allow students to either illustrate what happened in the beginning, in the middle, and the end, or if they want to um, use their letter sounds to spell, I have them do that too. So I do have a couple of students' um, work from today's activity. So I had one student who actually drew a picture of what happened in the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. And I can definitely tell that he's saying there was a bear that lost his hat. In the middle, he saw a rabbit that had the hat. And in the end, he got his hat back. And when I see this student again, I'm going to ask him to tell me what's happening in each of his pictures so that I can write it out for him. Then I have a student who drew pictures, but also wrote sentences. And I've been doing this for so long, so I can definitely decode what they are writing. Um, so hers first box, the beginning, is the bear asking, "Where's my hat? Do you know where my hat is?" Then she says, "The bear is looking for his hat. He found his hat. The bunny had his hat." So when I see her again, I'm going to use this opportunity to actually have her spell these words correctly. Then you can also have them make flashcards with the words spelled correctly. That helps develop their vocabulary. They and they study the words, learn how to spell them correctly. And then there's one student who doesn't like to draw so much, but in the beginning he said he was looking for his hat. He asked everyone, every animal, but he still couldn't find it. He found the last animal. He took his hat. Then he talked to him. Then he remembered that the rabbit had his hat. So, another opportunity for us to correct the spelling, to make flashcards so that they can study this word and these words and add it to their vocabulary. You can also ask students if there's any lesson they learned from the text. Um, in the past, they've always said to never steal. There's always a consequence for stealing. So, yes, that's my presentation for tonight, and I hope you learned something from me and you enjoyed the text.
That was phenomenal. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for, I know Jarima does as well, appreciate you for showing up and showing us strategies on how to recall questioning and inferences. But I have a question for parents. I'm a parent. I have smaller children, and I want to know, like, what are some techniques that I can bring home to support my younger child? Actually he's 8. So how can I support him as far as with building his reading, improving his reading, and most importantly, giving him tips. Sometimes, as you know, with technology as today, they kind of deviate with reading physical books. So what are
Mhm.
some ways that we can bring and integrate that into our daily night times?
Well, I would definitely, I know a lot of teachers, students get like a list of words each week. So we definitely want to be practicing those words at home. And
Mhm.
those are grade leveled words. And so then once you go over that, and I know a lot of our curriculum, especially with CPS, is online. And so the books may or may not come home. So you may want to find books um, that will have those words in there from the word list, and just have
Mhm.
them, read the text to you. And words that they don't know, those are words you can either circle or write down. You can make flashcards, for those words, go over those words, and then have the student go back and reread that text once they've learned those words. Um, there's a statistic, I don't have the exact source, but if a child reads at least 20 minutes a day, like especially
Yes.
at home, it will improve comprehension. It will improve their test scores. And I just say that you know, just constantly expose them to reading. You can even go to your local library and, speak to the librarian and say, hey, my student is on this level. We're looking for these type of books. Make sure you have a library card.
Mhm.
But yes, expose, make them get off that phone, get off that computer, and just expose. But definitely make
Awesome.
that.
Yes, yes, yes. And I'm glad you mentioned all those things because those are things that we do practice at home. So thank you for sharing that. Another plugs because you are a librarian. How can people get library cards? Because, to get those books, what are some ways? Provide us
So
with a card.
I'm a school librarian, but you can always go to your local public library and fill out a form. They will produce your card that day.
Mhm.
And I know that even with that card, you can even access books online. I know we want them to have that physical book in front of them, but they can also, access books online. If they are a CPS student, their school librarian, if they have one, or, their teachers can also show them how to access the Chicago Public Schools
Mhm.
library online as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And just to also add to that, Libby is a phenomenal app that's through the library. And they also have what's called e-cards that you can get your virtual library card at home. So thank you so much again for sharing those strategies, most importantly, techniques, and just engaging with us tonight. Welcome. And we hope that your evening is refreshed, rejuvenated, and we'll see you guys at the next one. Take care. Enjoy
Okay,
your
thank
night.
you. Good night,
Wait,
everybody.
before you go, is there any other things that you want to say, or are you
No,
good?
just read. Please, oh please make your scholar read over the summer. Please.
Yes, yes. Thank you
Okay.
so much and take care.
Thank you. Bye.